Which direction would you like me to go in? Oh, just up.
With wood and earthenware strewn all around, the demon feline's fury can't be quelled, reducing them to rubble on the ground.
No, you don't. I wrote that line. Don't start plagiarizing me just because you can't take a bit of criticism.
Look, let's not put form over content here. It's not about the rhymes. It's about making sure the Outlanders focus on the clockwork key on that platform.
As the Outlander stands before the clockwork key...
See? I just cut off
overcome
somebody.
by a sudden urge to set it free. Also, Cape, that'll be my last rhyming line. I'm not writing any more poetry until you apologize.
What does it matter anyway? I've lost count of how many people have tried this before. No one's getting that key out.
Oh, it's literally the sword and the stone?
It's now flying away.
Okay.
Strong as stone.
Wait, we need
firm
Kirara
as
for this.
steel. The Outlander pulls, but it does not yield.
Kirara.
This has happened many times before, but this time is different. A thought enters the Outlander's mind. Attack! Attack! First weaken the structure, then seize the treasure.
Okay. I tried to...
Yeah! Yeah!
The attack now over. Only one final
Okay.
step remains.
Now it is the time to seize the key.
Pull harder.
Yes! Finally! Come on, move your butts and your legs, assuming they're still in working order. It's showtime!
No hard feelings about your lack of poetic contributions?
Oh, let it go!
You guys are hilarious. Okay. Is this just literally where you guys just came from? Yes. Okay, so that's what that little circle does. There is no more to this place to be seen. But I guess I didn't know until I did it. Gentlemen?
Welcome, esteemed and noble Outlander. Allow us to introduce ourselves.
We represent the 3 great clans of this realm, having been selected as its authorized historical supervisors.
Our purpose being to await the arrival of one such as yourselves who shall remove the clockwork key.
My name is...
You're Cape, he's Albizzi, and that's Bobarano, right? You've done so much talking that we can already tell you apart by your voices.
Yep.
Aren't we missing someone, though? The guy who led us here to begin with?
The narrator.
Who?
The narrator.
And thus was born the long-awaited fellowship, destined to uncover the truth of the past. Allow me to quote, if I may, in the history of Constellation Metropole, a new page has begun.
Him.
Well, there's no fourth person, so which of you is the ventriloquist? Come on, out with it.
We've never heard that voice before, but he sounds like he'd be good at reading bedtime stories to children.
I'm sorry, but whoever wrote this quest is just freaking amazing. Can we get more of this kind of humor into Genshin? This is brilliant. I'm enjoying this one so much.
Well, whoever it is, I don't know and I don't care. Forget about him. We have far more important things to focus on. Like, where our journey goes from here.
It's like irreverent and meta at the same time because like the narrator, you're breaking the fourth wall. It's great.
That key you hold is the pivot point about which the past and present of the Metropole revolve.
It's a lot of peas.
However, between our 3 clans, there is some dispute over the historical record.
Where are we putting the key now that we have liberated it from yonder stone?
Each clan has its own version of history, detailing the clan's origins and the tale of the dragon of old. And unfortunately, we don't know which one is the truth.
Could there be a speck of truth in all 3? All 3 are false taken as a whole, but there are parts of all 3 that are true. Mayhap? I mean, I haven't heard any of the stories, so I can't tell you.
Dragon? You mean the one that's been acting up recently?
Oh, no, not that one, you adorable little pixie. When I say dragon of old...
You adorable little pixie.
He means a dragon that would be really, really old if it was still with us today.
Yeah, it's called
but
an ancient dragon.
It was defeated in ancient times.
Oh,
The new one has
disappointing.
nothing to do with our clan history.
Oh, that's still disappointing.
Was that supposed to be a joke?
No.
Anyway, so you've been waiting for someone to remove the key so you can finally explore the truth of the past?
Not just explore it, but argue incessantly about it.
Yay!
Honestly, I don't care that much. Cape's the one who's always bothering us about it.
So why don't you just concede to Cape?
What we need to figure out is who resolved the dragon crisis. We have to know that before we can decide which is the supreme clan.
Did it ever occur to any of you that maybe it was the efforts of all three clans together that managed to defeat the dragon? Because that's a logical conclusion to make.
The moment you removed the key from where it was lodged, you became the honorary Marquis.
Oh, I thought it'd be
We
Carrara.
humbly beseech you, noble
I
Outlander.
thought it'd be Carrara. Still gender confused though, because Marquis is a male term. Call me Lunara.
Noble traveler Marquis, we ask you to help us. You and your talking Puss in Boots and the pale floating pixie.
He actually said it. Puss in Boots.
Puss in Boots? Are you serious? It's better than demon feline, but still.
Embrace it, my friend, embrace it. Most cats don't wear boots or speak, do they?
Hey, wait! We already had a Puss in Boots. In Fontaine. By the child, female orphan thing. With the other animals.
I'm not even a cat. I'm a Nekomata. Now that you know the word, I expect you to use it.
Tomato, tomato.
Please allow me to lead you all to a sacred
They just don't
memorial
even
site.
care.
It will be much easier to explain what needs to be done once we are there.
Okay. Lead on. Cape leads the party to the so-called sacred memorial site.
This place is sacred to my clan. It's where our brave forefathers once took up arms against the dragon of old.
I'm sure it's sacred to all three clans, but continue.
After a bitter battle that dragged on for many days and nights, finally,
Oh, that's where the key
our
goes.
forefathers fought the dragon into submission, and it fled. They took turns, though. Some forefathers worked the day shift, while others worked the night shift.
I love that you felt the need to clarify that. So they worked shifts while the poor dragon had to work around the clock.
So they say. It's just a legend, though.
Wait a second. Did I just hear you admit that your clan's history is just a legend?
History, legend, who cares? My clan was definitely courageous, that's the point. That's the truth. And isn't the truth what we've all been arguing about non-stop for all these years?
Cape's words gave the traveler food for thought. Could it be that the truth in a fictional world is equivalent to fiction in the real world?
Entirely possible, yes.
But that would have to wait. Apparently, Cape was not alone in his pilgrimage to this sacred site.
Hello, Conrians.
Unwanted company had arrived. The traveler and the talking cat, Nekomata, decided to teach them some manners.
Hey, at least he listened. He used the correct terminology. You can't get mad about that. Wacky rah rah. Give me 4.
Hey! Positions!
A true display of heroism and valor. It was as if this
Oh no, I cut
martial
you off.
prowess and show of courage are a more vivid reenactment of my ancestors' feats that
Look at the
suit the
pretty
modern
lights.
aesthetic.
Where'd they come from? I don't know where the pretty lights appeared from. I really wish I'd prolonged that battle just so I could hear you more. Anywho, you must prepare us. Yep, cool.
Now, let's get down to business.
Let's get down to business. You don't mean that kind? Okay.
As we all know, time is
Suppose
but
there are
an
no Huns here.
illusion. Time may flow line by line, page by page, or frame by frame, but usually it flows in the form of springs and gears.
Not how I visualize time, but I suppose your experience in life is vastly different to mine.
And that clockwork key you have in your hand
It's invisible.
can turn
Did you
back
know?
time and make the past reappear.
I'm sorry. What? 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 Okay, who created such a weird device in the first place? Because that's just weird. Also, it's very specific that it details the demise of the dragon at the hands of who. And it's just really, really strange. But okay, cool. We'll find out who really slew the dragon.
Well, actually, my view is that the illusion of time is more of a problem of consciousness.
There you go.
Gears power the body, while the body is the vessel of the conscious mind.
Well, Morano's got his screws in properly.
But the mind cannot understand the dimension of time, so we experience instead an endless continuum of moments as the pinion of now turns along the rack of ages.
Couldn't have said it better myself.
I'm getting flashbacks to when I was delivering packages to the Sumeru Academia.
A teacher once asked Albizzi what his greatest fear was, and he replied, dragons. Boberano was asked the same question. He replied, time, and repeated the argument we just heard.
What about Cape?
The teacher then turned to Cape and posed the same question. He replied, Boberano.
Of course he did.
The manuscript that tells the truth of the historical record, the blueprint to all of creation, the work of the great mage themselves. It can be found at the beginning of the Girac, and on the very first page of the book.
I must confess I don't understand. The manuscript that tells the truth of historical record, the blueprint to all creation. Okay, now you're just being dramatic. The work of the great mage themselves. Who's this great mage? This is the first time we've had mention of a great mage. Okay.
Paimon didn't follow
Neither did
all that,
Mish.
But basically, you're just saying that we need to put the key in and turn it all the way back?
I mean, that was a conclusion I drew, but they've been very verbose about it.
Exactly. It is said that in the beginning, the goddess of creation took the goddess of fate's manuscript as a blueprint, placed it under the goddess of prophecy's starry realm, and generated the world from a few magic arrays.
Arrays are very Chinese, yes.
So in a few moments, when the great clockwork key turns the local time here back to the very beginning, we will restore the magic arrays back to their original configurations.
Oh, you meant you're literally turning back time. I thought you just meant it was figurative and like metaphoric and you'll see like visions of the past. You meant this island will actually go back in time. I don't know if that's a good thing or not.
Oh, hold on. Isn't stealing part of the blueprint of creation a little dangerous? Also, how are we supposed to know the original configurations of the magic arrays?
I'd still like to know who created this contraption in the first place.
Well, the general shapes of the configurations have been passed down over the ages. They now form the family crests of each of our clans.
Oh, that's neat.
So you'll just need to reference my family crest and join the dots accordingly.
I like it. Shape of Valor. Okay, it's a castle piece or tower, and it's a backwards set with a tail. I suppose it's an S then, an S with a tail.
To address your other concern, when the house has already been built, do you really think that taking away the construction crew and blueprint will cause it to collapse?
Assuming it's already been built to completion, no.
The Traveller Marquis prepares to insert the great clockwork key into the nearby keyhole.
It's a very large keyhole. Connect the lines to draw the family crest. This is so exciting. They said better be the real deal. Complete the Oracle Pillars picture. Open it to view hints. Yeah, whatever. Yours. Recall how you once loosened the key. Now wind it up using the same method. Alright. Why are you the starting point? Oh, you're the bottom. If you're the bottom, then we're going this way.
I guess we should start
Yeah,
here?
I figured it out. All right. I wanted to go from the top, but it occurred to me that if we're starting there, it had to be the bottom. I can think for myself. All right, Kirara. You know, I do have a modicum of intelligence.
Behold, the sacred writings that record the truth of... No, wait. That have shaped the truth of history. Gather round and let us bear witness.
Oh no, he said the words. Bear witness. You said the clan's sigils or whatever word you used, as in plural, as in you said all three. Yet we've only done your sigil. The magic arrays of 2 still remain, do they not? Oh my. Goddess's manuscript 1. Okay, perhaps she has 3 manuscripts. Brave Francois mounted the haystack, ooh, that sounds fun, picked up a fork and planted it tines down atop the mountain of grass. Behind him was a large bright moon. Okay, may I ask why Francois was doing this? He shouted out the names of everyone in the village. The village chief was first to be named, and so frightened was he that he wished to climb up the haystack and stop up, okay, Francois's mouth. Are you crazy? You're yelling so loudly that the dragon might show up. You good for nothing. Have you not seen how the windmill everyone built has been destroyed by the dragon? And here you are, worrying if it'll return. Francois really would have loved to kick him off the haystack, but held back given that the chief, too, was worried for the villagers' safety. Francois saw that nigh all the villagers had arrived, and so he cleared his throat. Dear neighbours and kin, think you still that we must endure this? No, of course not, but we cannot do anything about the dragon, said the grocer. Who says so? Did I not leap onto its neck from the windmill blades, stepping on it twice, and did it not fall down and flee? Perhaps everyone worked so hard to build the mill that was destroyed, everyone's emotions became inflamed. Lifting up their fists, they decided to take on the dragon. No, down. I was about to say it's just two small letters here. Take down the dragon. Interesting, though, that a handful of letters are missing when you can still read through them. But Francois lifted his own hands and calmed the crowd. Let us go home for today, everyone. Everyone's present lack of self-preservation is not bravery, but rather wrath. If we yet desire to face danger after calming ourselves, only then may we truthfully call our sentiment valour. So everyone went home. The next day, there were still many youngsters who wished to follow Francois to take on the wicked dragon. Who would have known that the valiant possessed the protection of the goddess's radiant charter? Encountering true valour, the dragon could neither spout fire nor slash with claws, and was forced to allow the other party to call pauses and switch personnel. And so, after several days and nights of fierce fighting, the wicked dragon could no longer bear it, and chose to surrender. AA. AA?
Feast your eyes, rejoice, and cheer, for this is the unquestionable truth. Look at the signature. Nobody is capable of forging that.
Who's AA?
I don't believe it. So, all along, our histories have been false?
Don't lose heart, Albizzi. It does not follow from his is true that ours are false.
Correct. They're not mutually exclusive.
That might be the most bogus logic I've ever heard.
No, it's right.
Keep up the mental gymnastics, Boberano. I've been waiting for that look of jealousy on your face my whole life, and I'm gonna savor it.
Just because it doesn't mention the other clans joining in the fight doesn't mean they didn't. It just means that they didn't write it down.
And yet, it seemed that this conundrum could indeed have more than one solution. Everyone agreed that there may be more than one truth.
Or different sides to the truth.
The party decided to visit the sacred sites of the other clans and see what their documents had to say.
Right, we have to do the sigils at each of their sites. Okay, I can't
Isn't a
comprehend.
narrator supposed to remain detached and objective? It feels like you're forcing a narrative agenda on us here.
No, these kinds of spunky narrators definitely push their agenda.
Well, whatever. I'm in a good mood. Let's do it. The instructions say to repeat the process 3 times, and besides, I'm looking forward to watching you both be sorely disappointed.
I think the voice actors here had a lot of fun.
Let's do my clan next. I'll lead the way.
Okay, is it on this island? It can't. There's no way you all shared the same island.
We'll need the key again, right? Let me see if I can pull it out. Yoink!
That's a me word. Keep your yoinks to yourself. Ah, Paimon! Cut her off. Oh, it's in the city. Okay. Really? Your sacred land is in the city? Gentlemen. I like the little Lego hands. Have you noticed the little Lego hands? They're hilarious. Oh, the vault.
The party finds no pedestal in which to place the great clockwork key, only a locked door.
I was going to say, I do not remember seeing a pedestal here in the city.
Where's your clan's pedestal? Let me guess, you hid it away in advance to save yourself the embarrassment of having it exposed as a fake?
You done? Okay. Now, since my clan's main claim to fame is...
Bankers? Treasurers?
Misinformation, half-truths, and fabrication.
Shut up, Cape.
Shut up, Cape.
The raid is getting in on it.
I swear, if I wind up dead one day, the murderer was Boberano. Let those be my last words.
Remember, his greatest fear is Boberano.
My clan's claim to fame is that we outwitted the Dragon of Old and stole its treasure. Ergo, all articles of value that we own, including the pedestal for the clockwork key, lie behind that door.
That doesn't explain why there are just coins all over the front door. It's just a little odd. Why are there 2 chests? Were they there all this time and I just missed them?
Next
Are
step
they openable?
is open the door?
Almost. There's one step before that. The door is protected by a smart interrogation system.
Okay.
We have to answer its
What is it,
questions, and
Sumeru?
if we get them wrong, we will alert law enforcement.
But why would it alert law enforcement if it belongs to your own clan? That's just weird.
Jeez. Well, do you at least know the answers?
The correction fluid of time has dyed white the pages of the Book of Wisdom. No, I don't know the answers.
Isn't that a bit modern for you, correction fluid? Whiteout was not invented in your day.
But worry not. I had a quick word with the constabulary in advance. They'll ignore the alarm if we get the questions wrong, so answer without fear.
Okay. There is no response from the door and nothing unusual about it. I feel like I'm about to go into like Smarg's domain through a hobbit hole. Knock on the door.
Question 1. Who is it?
That sounds like the narrator. Lunara. Police, open up. Lunara Marquis and her retinue.
The great yokai, Nekomata in boots.
Oh, she's really going with it.
And the trusty travel guide, Pixie. Travel guide. Trusty travel guide.
Question 2. By which virtue did the ancients defeat the dragon?
Valor? I don't have valor as an option. I'm gonna call valor courage and strength.
Oh, no, don't say that. Even though the writings you saw do prove that bravery...
It's
has
what
its
you
uses.
literally just taught me. I guess we're going for wealth here, or are we going for wisdom?
You do realize we can hear everything you're saying, right?
If you say it out loud, you'll only set those 3 off arguing again. Thinking it is fine, but please promise me you won't say it.
Which one do you want me to say then?
Question 2. By which virtue did the ancients defeat the dragon?
Wisdom. Well, wait, this is wealth. Hard work and
To be
wealth.
completely honest, hard work is a bit of an alien
I
concept.
thought we were in front of a
It's the
vault,
only
so it'd be
constellation
wealth.
Metropole. We have hardware and we have clockwork, but not hard work.
Ha, you're adorable.
Question 2.
Okay,
By which
fine. By fucking wisdom, all right?
If this is the right answer, I swear I'll...
Correct.
What? A barefaced lie. So low.
Question 3. Which is more real? The fiction of the outside world or the truth of this world?
Oh no, this follows the logic that the traveler had earlier. Perhaps both are equally real.
Hear, hear! Who can be sure that the outside world isn't just a dream? And that when the dreamer wakes up, they won't just find themselves inside a novel?
How very isekai of you.
There is no way to know, therefore both are equally real.
All correct. You may have the key pedestal.
How did you know that's what I wanted? I thought there was lots of treasure from the dragon in this vault. The door opens and a puff of smoke wafts out. After the smoke clears,
Traveler
the pedestal
Marquis,
appears.
You know what must be done. Please insert the great clockwork key.
We're just doing this where anyone can see us.
Oh, and this is my family crest.
I was about to say, what am I doing with this? It's a key! Okay, it's a question mark. Alright. Okay, where are we starting from?
Do we really need this one?
I don't think we do, actually. I'm going to be honest with you. It was throwing me off, but I was like, maybe there are superfluous ones, and then she said it. So I was like, okay, cool. Hey, I said tea. Tea, bitch. Thank you. Sheesh, was that so difficult? And then the one over here. Woo!
Now, let me see what
elaborate fiction the Clan of Wisdom was able to conjure up.
If anyone's listening, I would like to submit these as my last words. I surrender. I'm the one who murdered Cappe.
He admits it. Yes, okay, manuscript 2. Wise Antonio, in the basement of the crumbling house, began reading the ancient book he had found. His oil lamp shook from time to time as a swaying structure above ground collapsed. The village was to be symbolically raised by the dragon. Why symbolically? And he had been chosen by the dragon, for he had not returned home. But Antonio did not care. He was saying these letters must be important because they're in the exact same configuration as the last one. Ooh, you put the letters on top of one another and they spell out something. Anywho, he only wished to study the book the old lady had given him on the bridge he passed today. This book was titled The Radiant Charter, and within was reported. I don't know what that word is. It's not even records recorded because the D's too far out. Anywho, all the rules that every... I want to say being in Simulanka, but the space is too big. Must follow. It was written, unless these spaces aren't representative of the letters that are missing. It was written in the language of world's creation at the very start, and if Antonio was not possessed of extraordinary wisdom and deciphered this primordial text, it would have been no study to be had. This book recorded no solutions as to resolving the difficulty that Constellation Satellite presently faced. Was it not known as Metropede back in the day? Nor did it contain any hexes that could aid Antonio in repairing his own home. But he knew that wisdom was the mightiest thing in the world. The morning light shone through the ruins of his home, and the neighbouring blacksmith and chubby chief took great pains to get rid of the house's wreckage, which blocked the basement hatch. With dark circles around his eyes, Antonio said to the chubby chief, "I shall defeat the dragon. I will return soon." "Are you sure you're all right? You don't look like you got any sleep." "Just smoke from the oil lamp. Don't worry about it." The dragon sat atop the mountain of treasures, gazing down at insignificant little Antonio, walking closer. Flames gathered in its throat, preparing to burn the area 1 centimetre before him, all the better to scare this puny, foolish creature away. "Halt! I'm a qualified second-class maester. This Radiant Charter states that should I refuse a duel, you cannot use force." This restriction did indeed exist, and so the wicked dragon swallowed its flames whole. Ah, how it dreaded going to the toilet tomorrow. Antonio, for his part, it feels like this has been written by the narrator. Antonio, for his part, had not expected that the second-class rust-clearing maester qualification exam he had taken on a lark would come in useful. "And since I am a second-class maester, I propose a duel of riddles. You cannot refuse." Now, Simulanka had just such a law, mainly for the benefit of sphinxes, old sages, and princesses who wished to make life hard for others. The evil dragon had not expected this world to catch up with it. "I shall ask the first question. My house sold for 8,000 mora yesterday, but I thought there was room to raise the price, so I bought it back for 9,000, planning to sell it for 10,000. How much mora did I lose in the end? Well, I don't know. Did you sell it? Did you end up selling it?" The dragon laughed in contempt. "What's so hard about that? You could have waited until it hit 10,000 to make your move, but you sold for 8 and bought for 9, so that you lost 1,000 mora that you could have earned instead." "Wrong. You burned my house down yesterday, and I couldn't sell it in time, so I've lost far more." "Sorry. I mean, I do have to burn a house, and you happened not to be home, so I might as well hit one that doesn't result in any loss of life. Look, this dragon is really thinking about it. He's planning ahead and making sure that his actions have the least impact on people's lives. Good on you, mate. A+. Now that you've lost this contest, I have the right to loot of the same value as your life, minus 1 mora. And considering that you've burned my house, I can seek damages. Let's assume that my house is worth just 1 mora. Well then, wicked dragon, you know what to do with yourself. Please spare me. I'll give you anything." "Your words, not mine," Antonio said as he pulled out a contract he had written long ago. Thus did Antonio use his wisdom to take all the evil dragon's treasures. The dragon, devastated, would never again return to attack Constellation Satellite, where Antonio lived. Many years later, a child asked Antonio, "You sold your place for 8,000 and spent 9,000 buying it back, so it looks like you actually did lose 1,000 mora." AA. "It's the same person!"
Look! My clan's history is true as well! Ah, there's that same unforgeable signature again, right here!
Yeah, but it's the same as the other signature.
What?
Are we not going to look at this?
Oh, does this mean that my clan is the only odd one out?
Given that my clan's wisdom is such a subject of ridicule in your eyes, I will now appeal to my own personal intelligence, which I believe far surpasses that of my clan at large, and make a prediction. It seems likely that the claims made by each of our clans regarding their history and virtue are all true.
I already beat you to that, Bobarano.
Bobarano? How can that be?
Why are you so shocked? How can it not be?
Oh, I get what's going on. Once, when I was drinking with Gujiyai, she bet me a round of dried fish that I couldn't guess which cup the umeboshi was under.
Wouldn't you just be able to smell it?
Whichever one I guessed, I was always wrong, and Gujiyai would lift a different cup to reveal the umeboshi. But then, I learned later from one of the shrine maidens, Miyuki, that all of the cups had an umeboshi under them. Just goes to show, I still got a long way to go before I become a great yokai.
Weird story and hard to draw a parallel.
Oh, don't mind Fox Lady. That's just her way of teasing you.
Actually, that reminds me. We can now open these 3 treasure chests.
Yay!
And unlike the guessing game you mentioned, this one's not a trick.
Cool. Well, once you've plundered the last of Bobarano's family wealth, we can go to my clan's place.
Yes, I will plunder the last of his clan's wealth.
Guess I'll
Watch
take the
me.
clockwork key again then. Yoink!
Yoink! I'll just yoink from these chests and unashamedly steal. Does Bobarano really not want this money? Here's Lars. Where are we going now, sir? Oh. Up. Okay, we'll take the staircase then if we're going up. It's probably the quickest way.